everyone. Yay. All right. So we have our free training today. Super excited. And so today we're going to be talking about how to find strength, how to find courage and purpose in the midst of uncertainty. So obviously in our world, and most likely in your life, you have been experiencing some uncertainty, some fear, lots of changes, whether they're changes in your external environment or they are changes that are going on within you, or perhaps both, right? So the first thing that I want to talk about is, why do we have a difficult time with uncertainty? Why do we have such a difficult time with change? Why is this? Why do we have such a difficult time with this? So really, it is our attachment to security. It's our need for security. The ego loves certainty and feeling secure, and we don't necessarily get that right away in the midst of uncertainty. And so we then we make ourselves small. We don't react out of love. We react out of fear. We run. We F everything and run. Fear, right? When we're going through uncertainty, when we're going through change, our root chakra becomes really imbalanced. But there's purpose to this, because when we're rebuilding foundation within ourselves, within our life, there's just going to be some times of a little bit more shakiness than other times, right? So it's a part of life. And so especially all of you that are on this spiritual journey, you have made a decision to become the highest version of yourself. Those of you that are awake and on this journey have said yes to this. You've said yes to growth. You've said yes to the lessons, the assignments, all the things here on earth, being a awakened conscious being. And ultimately, we all have this waiting for us, but not everyone is aware of it yet. And so perhaps you are, right? That's why you're watching this video, whether you're catching it live or you're watching the replay. Please say hi if you're here. And so I'd like to hear from you guys. Why do you feel like we have a difficult time with uncertainty and have a difficult time with change? Why do you feel that? Why do you feel like humans have a difficult time? Or perhaps, why have you had a difficult time with change and uncertainty? Hello, Diane. Welcome. Okay. So definitely for me, I've been going through massive change and transformation in my life. And it's, at times it can feel like, oh, why is this happening to me, right? And we get into that victim role. And I'm not saying I'm, totally resilient out of that space completely, right? But it's a matter of, how long are we in that space? How long are we spending time within the victim mentality? It's okay to feel like the world's crashing down on you and to have these super, I'm small, why is this happening to me, fear-based feelings. It's just part of the human journey. And so as I've been going through massive change and transformation with becoming pregnant unexpectedly, and it's totally transformed how my drive, how I'm looking at my life. It's transformed so much for me, and it's brought up some very deep-seated fears for me at the same time, because change is not always comfortable. And so I always have told my clients, getting comfortable with the uncomfortable is going to serve you on your journey, because our higher purpose isn't necessarily, growing into our higher purpose is not necessarily the most comfortable process. Can think of, a butterfly in a cocoon, even just the growing pains, right? But at the end of the day, it's important to look at it this way. Because the first thing we're talking about here is how are you perceiving what you are currently going through? So how am I perceiving the pain, the emotional pain, the physical pain that I am feeling? Am I perceiving what's going on in my life, what's going on in my body through the eyes of fear or through the eyes of love? Am I perceiving what I am going through, what our world is undergoing, through the eyes of limitation or through the eyes of transformation? You, as the perceiver, might not get to choose all that happens in your realm of perception, but you, as the perceiver, get to choose how you see it. Does that make sense? Am I seeing through the eyes of limitation and fear, or am I seeing through the eyes of transformation and love? What is transformation? Ultimately, it's our process of growth. It's the growth process. So looking at whatever it is that you're going through that is challenging, or even if you're not necessarily having very many challenges right now in your life, but taking this when it happens, right? We need these reminders consistently in order to to grow and transform. So wherever you guys are, how are you perceiving what you are currently going through? In the beginning of my pregnancy, I was going through how did this happen? What did I do to, if I really wasn't ready for this, then why wasn't I, more careful thinking about things like this? Because it honestly has been very overwhelming for me, because I had a plan, an attachment in my head of what my life was supposed to look like and when. And so in my brain, it was really like, in 7 years, I can start having a family, because by then, my business will be, more booming. I'll be more financially stable. All these mental constructs of how my life is supposed to unfold. And these mental constructs is what keeps us in our suffering, our attachment to them. So we must surrender our mental concepts, at times even what our life is supposed to look like and when, most importantly. Never lose sight of the vision. We'll talk about that shortly, because you want to have a vision and you want to keep it in your heart. But also, don't be upset, don't beat yourself up, don't hate the universe seen through the eyes of fear when it's not all happening according to your plan. Because ultimately, where spirituality comes in is having faith that the intelligence that created you, that created me, that created this little baby, that created your baby, if you have a baby, right? That created all of this, is here to help us, is here to have our back, not to wear us down. And so again, what is the lens of perception I am choosing to see through? Being authentic with yourself and then making a choice. Is that really how I want to be perceiving this situation? What is a miracle is a change in perception. How you are looking at yourself, the challenges you're going through. Okay? The next thing is your daily practices. So everything that I'm going to be sharing with you is how you can achieve more strength, more courage, more purpose in the midst of uncertainty, change, transition in your life. And so having a daily sadhana or practice, this is going to keep you grounded. This is going to keep you grounded. This is going to help you to tune into yourself and get the most out of your experience. get the most out of your experience, right? To learn, to grow as much as you can through the periods of deep transformation that are uncomfortable in your life. And to enjoy even more when you're going through periods of, it's just ease and grace, those ease and grace moments. So what is your daily practice? What are you doing as a daily ritual? If you do not have one, I suggest getting one. Very, very important to do at the same time every day, to commit to, and it doesn't need to be big. Unless you want to go big. You're like, it's time for me to go big, Vanessa. I'm not playing small anymore. Then all right, no more 2-minute meditations. It's time to jump in and do a 20-minute meditation in the morning. Okay? So having a daily practice. So if you guys need some assistance with creating a daily practice, this is something that I can help you with. This is something I go deeper into in my holistic transformation course. So this is something that is so important for you, to have a spiritual practice. Okay? So the next thing is your support. Who you have around you, who you are spending time with during these times, because you are in a vulnerable place when you're going through transformation, when you're going through deep transformation, where there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of change. Who are you spending time with? Who are you talking to? Having support. Having mentors, having friends, people around you. It doesn't need to be a whole bunch of people, but who is 1 to 2 people, 3 people that you can turn to really open up and ask for support from? They are out there. If you don't have any in your life currently, there is a lot of support out there. We have this beautiful community. You can reach out to who you resonate with, people posting in the group. There is lots of resources out there for you to have support. And that's very much important to have. Joe knows how important it is to have support, have someone that you can go to, people that you can go to, a tribe, a community, people that you can go to, even if it's just 2 people, right? In order to feel that courage to persevere through what is going on, what is occurring in your life. Hi, Joe. Okay, so the next that we have here is the more that we accept change, the easier it gets. The more that we accept change, the easier it gets. So I want you to think about that for a moment. The more we accept, the easier it gets. Have that as your mantra, if that helps you, right? So really, it's our resistance to love. It's our resistance to change that is causing us some resistance within ourselves. It's what is causing the inner turmoil. When we are resistant to the change that is occurring in our life, that's what creates the inner turmoil, the inner resistance. But all we need to do is accept and surrender the resistance and be open and willing to see through the eyes of love. Another one that my partner actually shared with me that I thought was wonderful is if you're looking for, okay, I'm feeling really weak, really powerless in the midst of what's occurring in my life. How can I feel more powerful? How can I feel like I can do this? Well, let's focus on your strengths. What are you good at? And let's focus on that. Let's hone in on that. Beautiful, beautiful insight that when you're going through a vulnerable time, what are your strengths? This is an opportune time for you to do some self-discovery, okay, and focus on your strengths. Focusing on your strengths. That way when you come out, you're even more on top. You've grown so much more in what you're already good at. It's not necessarily the best time to focus on your weaknesses, because then you might get even more frustrated, you might feel even more uncomfortable, anxious, overwhelmed, any of that. So just focusing on your strengths. Okay. And so the next thing is being mindful of your thoughts, words, and energy, because your perception is your projection. I've currently been listening to Gabrielle Bernstein. I highly recommend looking her up on YouTube, watching some of her, either she has some audiobooks on there, some of her videos. She's really, really amazing, been inspiring me a lot lately. And so being mindful of how our words, our thoughts, our energy is creating our experience. Our perception is our projection. So whatever it is and how you're viewing yourself, how you're viewing your life, might not necessarily be the truth, but it's going to be the truth for you because this is your life and it's how you're choosing to see. But is it just a projection? Am I just projecting my limiting beliefs onto this movie that I'm calling life? Is it really true, for example, that I'm not ready to be a mom, or am I projecting my fear onto my movie screen? Is that the movie that I want to play? No. So what are you projecting onto your movie screen? What are your fear-based stories? Because ultimately, it's not about necessarily gaining strength, gaining purpose, gaining courage. It's about removing the barriers that you have to being in your strength, to being in the space of courageousness, to being in the space of purpose. It's not about achieving anything, going anywhere. It's all within you, but removing the barriers that you have around it, that you're not strong, that you're not capable, that life is meaningless, or I hate what I do. I don't feel like I have much purpose in my life. Whatever it is that you're projecting, I'm fearful of losing everything. I don't feel like I'm good enough. I don't feel supported. I'm not supported. What are the limiting beliefs that you're projecting onto your movie screen? Being mindful of this, being mindful of how you're speaking and how you're thinking is going to affect how you're moving through this period of your life. And so I'd love to hear from you guys. What are you going through in your life right now? You know, in a sentence or two, are you going through transformation right now, internally or externally? There's things shifting in your life, whether it's a change of job, career, relationship, marriage, children, or are you going through something spiritually within you? So overall, you guys, how to find strength, how to find courage and purpose, no matter what you're going through in your life. But if you're going through uncertainty, most importantly, there isn't anything that you need to find. There's nothing that you need to find. There's nothing that you need to go look for. because this is what pulls us away from our own guru that we have within us. But then also the guru being projected onto our movie screen, coming through different experiences and coming to you vibrationally through your experiences, through the vine of synchronicity in your life, the weave of this experience. So it's about removing the barriers that you have within you that are keeping you from feeling safe, that are keeping you from feeling supported, that are keeping you from feeling love and seeing through the eyes of love. Okay, Peter says going through COVID. Absolutely. So again, what am I projecting onto my movie screen? And how am I viewing this? Because I'll tell you, I've heard a lot of different perceptions on this subject. Many different. And the many different perceptions create a very different experience for that human being, dependent upon how they are viewing the situation. It might not change the fact that people are dying, yes. That people are getting sick. But how we are viewing this, how we are viewing and perceiving what is going on in our world. This is what you are in control of. You might not be in control of COVID not existing, but you are in control of how you are viewing what's occurring. So being aware of the stories of what am I projecting onto my movie screen. Joe says overwhelmed, not giving time for myself to grow my business and put what I learn into action. Okay. So, when it comes to overwhelm, being able to just feel in your body, it's looking at too many things at once. And there's also a line of expectation here, because I've dealt with overwhelm a lot, especially within the last couple months, of feeling the pressure of needing to be in a certain place before my baby gets here. So I've put a lot of pressure on top of my shoulders. But what I've learned from this and how to move through the overwhelm is realizing that we can set goals and expectations and standards for ourselves. But ultimate self-love is unconditional love. So despite what the outcome is of you growing your business and, having this lifestyle that you desire, despite that outcome, I am not going to change how I feel about myself, no matter what the outcome is. In my core. Because you can be proud of yourself. We can also be disappointed in ourselves. We can have these different feelings, but at the end of the day, how you actually view yourself when you look in the mirror, not decreasing the amount of love that you have for yourself and your own worth, just because maybe I didn't take enough action. Maybe I didn't do everything that I could have done. It's okay. And these are great learning moments. So Joe, if you were looking through the eyes of love, how would love be viewing this situation that is causing you to feel overwhelmed? How would love be viewing this situation? And same thing for you, Peter, as well. How would love be viewing COVID? If you were just the being of love, the ultimate being of love, the ascended master of love, how would you be viewing these situations? And some may argue, well, Vanessa, it's just reality. Well, reality is subjective. This is your experience, this is your life, and this is your body and how you want to feel in your body. This is where true empowerment comes in. Because do you think that Martin Luther King saw what was occurring the same way as everyone else? Is that what made him a leader? What about Gandhi? And how he viewed what was going on in his reality, in his country. Was he viewing it the same way as everyone else, or is what made these people a leader and an inspiration for people because of their belief, because of how they chose to perceive and where they chose to put their energy? Where your focus goes, your energy flows. So which wolf are you going to feed? The wolf of fear and limitation, or the wolf of growth, transformation, and love? All right, Love says, keep going with that, but balance the time better to put into action all that I am learning. Absolutely. Taking one step at a time, doing the best that you can, and making a plan. Planning is always good. That's why I have, it's important, especially when it comes to running a business. So, you guys, this has been such a joy. And if you're catching the replay, #replay, of course. So for those of you that are looking to go deeper into this, you're looking to go deeper into your own self-discovery of cleansing and healing your own limiting beliefs, your own, the stories that you're projecting and perhaps have been projecting on your internal movie screen your whole life, then I invite you to go ahead and reach out to me. You can put in the comments and let's have a conversation about it. Because I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you on your journey to growth, your journey to transformation, in the journey of transformation, because it's continuous. But when we really heal the root of these things, we see massive, massive change very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. And so I have a very beautiful process to share with you. If this is something you're ready to break out of those barriers and truly start stepping into your inner power and purpose, then it's time. And it's absolutely time. Our world needs more of us realizing our light. Not just realizing our light, but being in our light more than ever as every day passes. Namaste, beautiful souls.